What's good, y'all? Shagamaka. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and every subscriber helps. Over here on this channel, we make daily NBA content. So if you enjoy the NBA as much as I do, please subscribe. And today we're going to be talking about the Russell Westbrook, John Wall trade, Westbrook to the Wizards, John Wall to the Rockets, and a heavily protected first round pick also goes to the Rockets. And, what do I think of the trade? I think it's a very lateral trade. Like, lateral meaning like it doesn't do much for either team, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, obviously the Wizards win this trade because you're getting Russell Westbrook. I think he's an all NBA, all-star caliber kind of player, star kind of player. And when you talk about who the Rockets are getting, they're getting John Wall. And in the past he was amazing, he was great, but he hasn't played in two full seasons. And he's coming off a horrific Achilles injury that was after, I think he tore his ACL or MCL or something. So it was the second injury after already another injury. And for this trade to, be a somewhat of a win for the Rockets, he's gonna have to, John Wall's gonna have to come back and be some, shell of his former self. Because obviously, after an Achilles injury, with a guy that's speedy and quick like John Wall is, you would hope that he could, maintain some of that speed and some of that, just agility. But realistically, after an Achilles, I think he could be like 65% of what he was. And that's being very optimistic. But, Westbrook allegedly wanted out of the Rockets. Not allegedly. He wanted to leave the Rockets. He didn't like, the culture there. He didn't, he wants to run the show. He wants to be the number one option. He didn't want to be, B to James Harden's A, you know what I'm saying? And John Wall, he just wanted out of the Wizards. I don't know. I really don't know why he wanted out of the Wizards, because I can't think of a better situation for him. But now he has to prove on the Rockets that he's worth the money he's getting. And do I think he'll ever be the kind of player that's worth over $40 million again? Absolutely not. But, what does this trade do for the Wizards? To me, it locks them in a playoff spot. And, whether you want to have them at what? 8th seed? I saw some folks talking about they're going to be the 8th seed. I got them as high as 4. Call me crazy, it's a hot take, but I think they could be the 4th seed because you have Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, you have a bunch of supporting guys, Rui, Denny, Thomas Bryant. You got a guy in Davis Bertans, the one that you gave a bunch of money to. So you have guys around you, and the perfect formula for Westbrook to be successful on your team: surround Russell Westbrook with shooters and give him one star that can play off the ball. Bradley Beal is going to be a great second option next to Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook is going to return to near MVP form, if I do see so myself. And do I think he'll win MVP? No, but I'm saying he's going to return to what we're used to, Mr. Triple Double, Mr. Getting to the rim, not having to worry about doubles and all that, because now he has shooters. And when you look at the scheme and John Wall and the Rockets, it's pretty much more the same as what Westbrook does, but a little downgraded, watered down version. But I wouldn't say John Wall is as good as attacking the basket as Russell Westbrook, but he can attack the basket well. But I'll have to see after the Achilles injury. But did I think it changes anything in Houston? Because James Harden also wants out. Earlier today he was at a strip club, he missed practice, so I don't know how great that team is going to be this season. There doesn't seem to be a lot of team chemistry. Although it was reported that James Harden wanted to play with John Wall over Russell Westbrook. And, he says the same thing every year. I'd rather play with this person than this person. I'd rather play with this person than this person. He said he'd rather play with Westbrook than Chris Paul. Now he'd rather play with John Wall than Russell Westbrook. So when is it going to end? I think James Harden's time is done in Houston, but does this move really make sense for Houston? Because when it first came out, the shock value was there. Oh, Russell Westbrook and John Wall in a trade is crazy. But when you really buckle down and look at it, I don't really know how this trade makes a lot of sense for the Houston Rockets. Because, when you're looking at, potentially trading your superstar player, what's the point of trading a $40 million contract for another $40 million contract when it doesn't really improve your team and, make y'all any more favorited to win a championship? To me, the Rockets are right now, presently constructed, are a second round exit in the West. And, the Wizards in the East, I think they're a second round exit as well, but at least they're going to go back to the playoffs. At least they're improving their squad, because you went from no John Wall to now you have Russell Westbrook. And Bradley Beal's coming off averaging 30, so you really have a squad over there. But do I think there's gonna be a winner in this trade? Like I said earlier, I think the Wizards won this trade by a mile because you're trading Russell Westbrook for a guy who hasn't played in 2 years. I don't really see the incentive in that. You were better off just running it back with Westbrook and Harden this year. I don't really see why you would do that. And, I see some people calling this trade a win-win. Even if John Wall was healthy, Russell Westbrook was always better than John Wall. John Wall was never better than Westbrook. He's better than him at shooting. He's better than him at passing, even though he's not a good shooter either, but he's better than Westbrook at shooting. But I don't really see how the Rockets, make a move like this right now because John Wall isn't gonna really help your team, contend any more than Westbrook did. Honestly, you're better off running it back with Westbrook, like I just said. But for the Wizards, A plus on this trade. You don't give up any of your young assets. You get to pretty much just swap Russell Westbrook for John Wall. And like I said earlier, John Wall hasn't played in 2 whole years, so it's like you went from no John Wall to now you have all-star Russell Westbrook, who's still a top 20, top 25 player in the league. But, I guess we'll see if the Rockets can, get a John Wall who's even any semblance of his former self. Because, you look at the workout videos, but I don't put a lot of stock into those off-season workout videos because you see what happened with, Hoodie Mello and all kinds of things like that. Where they look great in workouts where it's not the pressure of a real live NBA game, but when they get into the games, it's just a disappointment. But I think John Wall is going to be, solid this year. I don't think he'll be an all-star in the West or anything, but I think he'll be a solid point guard, an above average, player at least. At most, if he returns, if he's an anomaly, Achilles injury case where, they come back and they're still, athletic and quick and speedy and all that, I think he's going to be great next to James Harden, but it depends on what the coach in Houston runs because if he stills with the whole James Harden just ISO thing, then the John Wall trade was pointless. If you bring in John Wall to really, kind of run that offense next to James Harden, like, run set plays, stuff like that, then the trade will make sense. But if you got John Wall just, to do more of the same stuff, then it's just like, it was pointless. But if you had to ask me right now who won this trade, the Washington Wizards won this trade because, like I said earlier, you go from no John Wall and just Bradley Beal and no playoffs to Russell Westbrook, getting rid of John Wall, and now you're going to go back to the playoffs. Now you're locked in for a playoff spot in my eyes, but that's just my thoughts on the whole thing. Let me know what you think in the comments. But if you see anything on this video, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.